recording, please? Would everyone rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome everyone to the December 3rd meeting of the Goffstown Zoning Board of Adjustment. The Goffstown Zoning Board is an elected board of 5 members and up to 5 alternates appointed by the Zoning Board. Currently, the board has 5 elected members and 0 alternates. We do have 1 elected member who will be absent tonight. If anyone is interested in serving on the ZBA, please contact the Planning and Zoning Office at Town Hall for more information. The board has a posted agenda for each meeting and intends to follow the items in order. The board will open a public hearing on an application to receive testimony from applicants, abutters, and affected parties, and ask questions about the appeal. The public hearing will then be closed and the board will enter into a deliberative session to discuss the merits of the appeal. For each application, the board will decide to approve with conditions, deny, or continue the public hearing to a later meeting. You are welcome to watch the deliberations this evening, or you can call the zoning department at 603-497-8990 to get the results. For each applicant's request to be approved, there must be an affirmative vote of at least 3 members. An applicant can request a continuance if there is not a full 5-member board to act on an application. If you are aggrieved by a decision made by the ZBA tonight, you have the right to appeal to the Superior Court or to the New Hampshire Housing Appeals Board. However, before appealing, you must request a rehearing with this board to preserve your right to appeal. Rehearing request must be filed within 30 days of the decision and state all reasons why the decision was unlawful or unreasonable. Failure to request a rehearing may forfeit your ability to appeal. I'll ask the people at the table to introduce themselves, starting in that corner with Jack.
Jack Shepard, Building Inspector, Code Enforcement Officer, and Zoning staff.
John Belleville, member.
Denise Langley, Vice Chair.
Leonard Stewart, Chairman.
Jason Cody, member.
And Judy Elaine, our 5th member, is going to be absent this evening. Begin with, I'll ask for approval, motion for approval of the minutes of the November 12th meeting.
I motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Approved. Okay, we have only 1 public hearing on the docket this evening. On November 12, 2024, the Zoning Board of Adjustment voted to grant a rehearing for the following application that was previously denied on October 1st, 2024. Cynthia Bover of Arago Land Consultants LLC, applicant, and Arlene Upton, owner, are seeking variances to subdivide a lot into 2 lots. The first variance is required because one of the proposed lots will not meet the 200 feet of continuous lot frontage, whereas 200 feet is required per section 4.2.1 and 4.3 of the Goffstown zoning ordinance. The second variance is required because the proposed lots will have a width less than 200 feet as required per section 4.2.3 of the Goffstown zoning ordinance. The proposal is to create a second lot that will have only 160.67 feet of continuous frontage on Tibbetts Hill Road and 31.11 feet of continuous frontage on Snow Road. The driveway access is proposed to come off the 31.11 frontage along Snow Road that will not meet the 200-foot width requirement. The property is located at Snow Road and 488 Tibbetts Hill Road. Map 11, Lot 11 in the agricultural zone. Before we proceed tonight, I want to make clear to the applicant, and you do have the option, because we do not have a full board this evening, we are also going to have one of the sitting members of the board recuse himself from the proceeding because of relationship with an abutter. You're going to be down to a 3-member board to hear the case. It is your option to wait to have a full board to hear this appeal, or it is also your option if you wish to proceed, but it's only going to be a 3-member board hearing it. And as you heard in the introduction to the meeting, it requires 3 members, 3 votes to act on anything. So any action would have to be unanimous. So that is the way things will have to go tonight. I'm going to leave it to the applicant and their representatives to tell us how you would like to proceed.
We would like to, for the rehearing, to continue it till January to have a full board sitting. That's would be fairer, and because it's not, it's just fairer to the applicant to have a full board. I want to make clear that it's a continuance because you've already granted us this rehearing, so.
Correct.
Well,
Okay.
and the situation with the fact that we're down to 3 voting members this evening is a situation is obviously not of your making.
Thank
You know, I don't see, and I don't think there's any objection from any member of the board who granting the continuance in the hearing until the January meeting. We're actually hoping to have an alternate join the board by January, so we could, again, have a fuller board to hear it. But again, that is your decision. I would think we can ask Jack, will put it on the calendar for the first item on the January meeting of the board. And, with that, there's nothing more that we can do this evening.
Well, thank you. I think that's the best option for the.
Do we have
So-
a motion on continuance?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and just so the abutters know, you will not be re-noticed because this is decisions being made on camera and you were notified for this meeting. So the next meeting will be, what's the date?
So,
January 7th,
Same time?
same time.
Same place.
Same
Same
time,
channel.
same place.
Same place.
So just so you all know, because I always, always request this, you see how important it is for us to have alternates, so anybody that is interested in
Unfortunately, none of
joining.
us can be an alternate because we'd have to recuse ourselves.
Yeah, for this case, of course, of
But we
course.
just-
But, just for the, for living in this town,
There are lots of other
alternates are
cases.
very important, place on this board. Thank you for all coming out.
Next time, somebody brings snacks.
Just to let you know, these are all people that live in the neighborhood that are that interested in what's going to happen.
I actually have a
Look
question.
familiar.
We're in public hearing right now, so.
Don't let him fool you, okay? He's not the younger one, okay? I'm not the older one, okay? Don't let him fool you.
Yeah.
Sir, if you'd like to wait, we got one other small item of business to take about 2 minutes to do, and then once the meeting is adjourned, if you want to address your question, that'll be fine.
Okay, so I'm gonna motion to extend this meeting.
I'll second.
Or- Do we have to do that, where she made a decision?
Yes.
Okay. You seconded?
I'll second, yeah.
All right, your motion.
You can't do it.
I can continue.
Yes.
Yeah, I
You're
second it.
seconding. You can't vote either. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right,
Okay.
we carried.
Next next meeting.
We could have made this an all-night affair. No, no, I don't agree. No,
I'll throw this.
I
Okay,
deserve it.
All right, only other item of business tonight, the application of Bruce Buttrick of 50 Gorham Pond Road to be an alternate on the board, beginning as soon as possible. Speaking to it, Guy is a longtime friend of mine. I've been wheedling him for years to get him to be on the board. He's got a background in planning, zoning,
Yeah.
building enforcement, and he would be, I think, a wonderful addition. And
he's,
the proviso, he said he's planning a long trip to Alaska mid-2020.
how dare
He
he?
may be away for a couple of months. You're an alternate. We need you. So if anybody has,
I have no issues, reading this. I would like a recommendation when somebody does apply that they do come in. In the past, we've always had the ability to ask questions. With his experience and knowledge, I don't feel it necessary, but it should make sure that the town does ask them to come to that meeting. So, and I also request that he's sworn in before the January meeting, because he'll be recusing himself on one case, I'm recusing myself on another case. So we definitely
All right,
need
well,
an alternate.
I will call him this evening and let him know how lucky he is.
Do we have to vote on that?
Yeah, we do.
All right.
I'll motion to accept, do you have his full name?
Bruce Buttrick.
Bruce Buttrick as an alternate member of the zoning board.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Bruce, if you're watching.
There's one other thing.
Okay.
So the calendar for next year does have a conflict. National voting in 2025 is November 4th.
Okay, so we need to adjust the schedule.
Does it, we can't have a meeting when there's voting?
Isn't it, aren't a couple of board members part of the
I
voting?
typically work at the polls.
Yeah.
and
Do you
all.
all day and night? Or
It's
just-
either morning, it's typically afternoons, at like 1 to 7.
Okay.
Of course, maybe I won't be chairing by then, who knows? So.
I mean, we can always decide to do that.
Move it
We
later
can
in
move
the
it,
year.
yeah, we can, whatever, I don't care.
I noticed that, I looked up the conflict to make sure.
Why don't we hold off on adjusting that until the next meeting?
Okay,
Okay.
Took me longer to get dressed to come here.
All right,
Certainly noted.
I motion to adjourn.
we shouldn't be talking to somebody not only public if they have a question for us, right?
I withdraw my
No,
motion.
we've done all our business. Sir, if you had a question, come on up and just identify yourself and tell us what your question is.
Sure, Chris Gerlone, 17 Snow Road. Just have a question on procedure. They're having a rehearing because there was not a full quorum last time we had the hearing on her variances.
That would not be correct.
Well, she filed an appeal, which,
She did, can I explain to you
Sure,
why there's a
absolutely.
rehearing? Okay, and I will take responsibility for this. John is a relative to one of the
yes,
abutters.
I'm well aware.
Okay. And he did not feel that his judgment would be influenced in any way. I did not feel that he needed to recuse himself. I was incorrect. Family members or anybody who can gain money has to recuse himself.
Sure.
And that is what the problem was, so they deserve another hearing.
Okay, and
With
I
that,
don't
yeah.
disagree with that.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure you
However,
understood
As
that.
he brought up in the beginning, and as was brought up last time when I was here in October, if it's not a full quorum, then a rehearing can be, an appeal can be requested because there was not a full quorum.
It's not a rehearing per
An
se,
appeal-
it is a continuance of the
That,
hearing.
but that's
until
not,
there's a full
and you
quorum.
used the continuance word today, but last time that's not how it was presented. So my question is, if there is, even with her appeal the way it was with the recusal, if it is denied a second time for any reason, can it be appealed further?
Through the state, of course.
But not with the board?
Correct.
That's all I needed to know.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep, there's steps that she's following, and we'll
I
follow
I
it.
have no
Yep.
problem with this.
Right, but I just
wondering
wanted
how
you to
many times-
understand that.
I'm just trying to figure out how many
Yep.
times we're gonna be back here.
Well, hopefully,
Just
next
one-
time.
hopefully
more
just one
time.
more.
Hopefully, and we don't typically, we can't notify everybody if we find out that day. We
Understood.
can't notify anybody unless we
I'm
know 2 weeks
not,
in advance, unfortunately.
don't misunderstand.
I'm not upset at all, I
No,
know
no,
you're
I-
not.
I don't think you're
And I
ups-
know you're not.
Right,
You're
and
just
I'm not
asking.
blaming you guys for anything, I'm just trying to figure out the
Oh, yeah.
procedures. And actually, as long as I've got this gentleman right here, frontage, the term frontage, I did some research before today, and textbook definition versus legal definition varies. Legal definition is usable land on a road, whereas definition is just land on a road. Which are we operating under?
It's, all depends what the planning board presumed at that point in time when they did the ordinance. It's supposed to be legal frontage.
Right, so like, again, is it usable land on a road or just land on the road?
Doesn't define it in the ordinance. In the ordinances, the planning board did not define it. That's why every year we have these, the articles for new zoning to redo the wording.
Right.
And that might be something that can be addressed next time.
Sounds reasonable. Sorry to ask good questions.
No, don't worry about
Very
it, that's
good.
what we're here for.
Very
That's a good question.
You can keep educating yourself and be an alternate.
Again, it's one of those things. that-
I have no mercy. Eventually, I'm getting off this board.
Oh, that's why you want an alternate. You want somebody to take over.
Eventually. Gonna build up a big board, right?
Thank you.
Anyway, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, if there's nothing else from anyone in the audience, a motion to adjourn,
A motion to adjourn.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned, thank you,
Thank you.
GTV.